Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you've never been here before. Just realized that I always say welcome back to my channel, but I don't even know if you've been to my channel. Maybe you're new, and I need to welcome you to my channel. Why am I already rambling? Today's video is going to be a current beauty favorites. I thought that we could do just like a current beauty favorites. I've seen this on a lot of different people's channels who don't really do monthly favorites, but they do current favorites. And I feel like I have a nice collection of things where I'm like, these are my favorites. They're my favorites. I need to talk about them. So that's what we're doing today. We're just gonna be talking about some things that I have found myself reaching for a lot lately. And these are just things that I have just been gravitating towards. I cannot stop using them. I can't put them down. I am obsessed. So let's start talking. The first thing we're gonna start off with is actually skincare. And this is from the brand The Ordinary. I'm sure some of you have heard about this. This like recently blew up all over the internet. I think Sephora just started carrying it not too long ago, and I'm under the impression that this is a brand that was only sold in the UK and you can buy it on certain websites, but it wasn't like as easily accessible. It's incredibly affordable. It grabbed my attention, but I never tried it because it wasn't really like that available to me until they brought it to Sephora. I've been getting these breakouts where I'll get like a big blemish here, I'll get one here, I'll get one here. The blemish will go away and it'll be completely gone and flat, but there's still a red spot there. And it's driving me crazy because it's happening so often. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna switch up my skincare. I've been using the same thing over and over for a while. Let's change it up, try something different, because obviously what I'm doing isn't working for me anymore. I'm gonna really try to pronounce this, but I don't know what this word is. It's not Niacinamide 10% and Zinc 1%, and it's a high strength vitamin and mineral blemish formula. You guys are gonna think I'm crazy when I say this, but I promise you, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy, I swear to God, this is the truth. There was a blemish right here that I got seriously 2 months ago. It has come and passed and it did its time, but the red spot would not go away for nothing. And I remember looking in the mirror and I was like, what the fuck? Why won't you go away? It wouldn't go away for nothing. Now, I don't think I read this online. I'm pretty sure I read this in the reviews that this cleared up like dark spots and red spots on your face that you just can't seem to get rid of. So that's why I bought it. I kid you not, the second time that I used this, I looked in the mirror on the third day and that blemish was gone. I swear to God, it was totally gone. It disappeared after I used it only 2 times. So I was like, oh my God, it blew my mind whole. So I have been using this every single night. What is this stuff made out of? I need to know because it is so good. The best thing about this is it's under $7. I think it's like $6.50. You need this. Get this. Order it right now. I'm pretty sure it's sold out because it was sold out for like 2 weeks before I could buy it. But once it comes back in stock, go on Sephora.com, sign up for the restock emails, and get this. I'm already signed up for the email for when it comes back in stock because I can't be without this. I need a backup. The next thing that I have is the Physicians Formula. This is the Healthy Foundation, and I am in the shade MW2. I did a whole review on this foundation. Well, I did it on Physicians Formula, but it was on this foundation as well. And I love this foundation. I have not put it down since I did that video, and I love it so, so much. It says it's for all skin types. I'm gonna have to disagree with that because it is quite, I wouldn't say luminous, but it's very skin-like. It looks just like skin. And actually the way that I like to use this is mixing it with my Laura Mercier foundation. I know that's a little extra and the majority of people aren't going to buy this foundation and another foundation to mix it, but this is actually a little dark for me. I think I mentioned in my video that it didn't oxidize because that was one of the things that I read about online was that it oxidized. It does oxidize. I didn't notice it until after a couple more times of using it, but it does oxidize. It's not too bad. It just oxidizes a little darker, so it makes my face look very tan, whereas the rest of my body is very fair right now. So that's mainly why I mix it with my Laura Mercier foundation, because that is like my perfect shade. It looks really, really pretty on the skin. It's a little more up there in price for drugstore. I think it was like $13 or $14, but I really like it. It's really nice, and the packaging is like so luxe. Look at the packaging. The shade range sucks, just to be 100% honest. The shade range is garbage, but if you can find your shade, I would very much suggest trying it out because I really, really love it. I love the way it makes my skin look. It just looks so plump and healthy. The next thing I want to talk about is the Cover FX. This is the blotting powder in the shade Light. This is kind of like an oldie but a goodie for me. I've had this for a while and I didn't care for it in the beginning. I used a lot of it just because it was what I had, and you know, I was using it just because I had it. I just put it in a drawer, totally forgot it was even there, and while I was going through some things, I rediscovered this and I've been using this ever since I found it. I still use the Maybelline one because I love that powder. This just makes your skin look so perfect. This is I believe a matte blotting powder because I remember I bought this when I was very oily. I might have stopped using it because it wasn't keeping me matte enough, but now that my skin is kind of a little more combination and I'm not too oily, this just looks so beautiful on the skin. It makes your skin look kind of airbrushed and perfect. It does have a really light tint. Like, it's a very, very light tint. I know they have, I think, a medium and a dark shade, if I'm not mistaken. It's just so nice, and it's not heavy. I don't like a heavy powder because I use such a full coverage foundation that I don't like to go in and cake my face with powder, and this doesn't do that. It just makes you look very airbrushed and very, very pretty. I really like that. The next thing I want to mention is the e.l.f. Shimmer Highlighting Powder. And I've only had this for a couple of weeks, but it's already my favorite, which is crazy because I don't even like drugstore highlighters. But I love this. This is so pretty. It's only $6, and I don't know what even made me grab this. Oh, by the way, this is in the shade Sunset Glow. I totally forgot to mention that. They do have other colors, but this is more of like a champagne gold. It's like totally my tone, so that's why I decided to get this. But hopefully you can see how pretty this is. Now, this is not a blinding highlight. This isn't something that's gonna be like, boom, you are glowing, girl. This is a very lit from within highlight. It's very subtle, which is typically not my thing, but lately I've been liking it. Am I changing? I don't know, but I really love this, and I didn't think I was gonna like it. I don't even know what possessed me to buy it because I'm very picky with my highlighter, as is everybody, especially when it comes to drugstore highlighters, because there's just not good drugstore highlighters besides the Maybelline one and the Physicians Formula one. I mainly stick to either those two or my high-end highlighters, and I usually gravitate towards high-end. Just being 100% honest, but this is really, really good. Like I said, it's not a blinding highlight, but it is a very pretty lit from within. If you're going for more of like a natural look, or you're going for like where you just want your skin to kind of stand out, this is gonna be for you. It is so pretty. Don't sleep on this. I promise you, even if you're really into blinding highlights, I think you would still like this as well, and you can build it up to a certain intensity. I've been reaching for this a lot, and I really like to do that on more natural days where I'm not wearing very heavy makeup. Let's just go ahead and stick with e.l.f. because I do have another thing from them. This is the e.l.f. Lit Plumping Gloss in Champagne Glam, and what is going on with e.l.f., you guys? I feel like they've been coming out with such badass products. I want to do like a whole discovery e.l.f. product video because I haven't really dabbled a ton in e.l.f., and if I have, I just haven't been a fan of their products. But this gloss is so pretty. It has a very, very subtle pink gold glitter. It's not really glitter, it's more of a shimmer. Glitter's the wrong word, but it's so pretty on bare lips. This just makes your lips look so plump and pouty. I really like this, and it's more of kind of like a thicker, not sticky, but it kind of reminds me of the MAC, is it the Dazzle Glass? Or the lip gloss, I can't remember what it is, but kind of like that formula. It actually is pretty long lasting, and I think this is only $5, so very affordable. Is that expensive for e.l.f.? Because I feel like e.l.f. used to be like $1 to $3, and their stuff I've noticed is a little more expensive. But honestly, for a gloss at the drugstore, $6, you can't beat it. Like, you really can't. That's such a good, affordable price. I really like to wear this on no makeup days, or when I have a very light face, or I just do like face and mascara. I love to wear this because it just makes my lips look so plump and shiny. I really, really like this. I want to try more of those glosses. This is the only one that I got, but I'm definitely going to be trying more. I really enjoy that. The next thing that I have is this Pixi Endless Silky Eye Pen, and you can get Pixi at Target. I don't know if you can buy it at other places. I only know it at Target. I'm not a big fan of black in my waterline. It's just a little harsh for me, but what I've been loving this for is lining my top waterline. So I don't know why I started doing this. I just decided to do it one day, and I used to actually do this. This is kind of a funny story. I used to do this when I was in middle school because I wasn't allowed to wear makeup. Actually, I was never allowed to wear makeup until I was like out of high school. I totally used to sneak and do a full face of makeup, and I would just take it off before I got home. But my dad wouldn't let me wear makeup at all. I grew up in a very, very strict household. What I used to do to kind of trick him, because you couldn't really tell, was I would take an eyeliner and I would just line my top waterline, and if it would smudge onto my lower waterline, I would take a Q-tip and wipe it away. But I just like the way it made my top waterline look really dark and full. It was just enough of a difference that you were like, ooh, is that like a sultry lash line? So I started doing that when I was like 12 or 13 because I was a little rebel. But that's what I've been doing again lately. Just on my top waterline, especially with falsies on, it just looks so sultry. Like, ooh, those eyes, girl. The reason I really like this is because it doesn't transfer onto my lower lash line. I love that because, like I said, I don't like eyeliner on my lower lash line. I like my lower lash line to be very open, but then my top lash line is very dark and smoky. And I wear a lot of heavy eyeshadows and eye makeup anyway, so I don't care if the top is more defined. I just want the bottom lash line open and white. I do have eyeliner on today because, I don't know, I just thought I'd try something different and I don't really like it, so I'll probably never do it again. But I have been loving this for my top waterline, and once it's on, it doesn't budge. Okay, let's just move on to shadows. Now, I'm not gonna talk too much about these because I did a whole video on them, but these are the Pur Quick Pro Glitters. These are so pretty. I've been reaching for these a lot. They're just so metallic-y and shiny. Again, I have a whole video on them. I will link it below, hopefully if I remember, because sometimes I forget. They're really nice, and I've been reaching for these over my Stila ones, not because I like them more. I like them about the same, but they're just so much more affordable, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to use my Stila glitters because they're so expensive. But yeah, those are definitely a recent favorite. I have been using those a lot lately. I have two brushes here I want to talk about. The first one is the Luxie 249 brush. This brush is so nice. I have been using this instead of my Sigma, I think it's the E25, the little one that I used to go in and define the crease with. I have been using this in place of that, and this is a little more stiff, which is weird for me because I'm not really a fan of more stiff blending brushes until I got this one. I do have an IT Cosmetics blending brush that is kind of like the same thing as the E25. It's the same shape, and I would use it to go in and define the crease. And I liked it in the beginning, and then I kind of stopped using it, and I went back to the Sigma one. But now that I have this, I've just been using this, and I think it's just because it's a little bit smaller at the top. It's not as wide, it's more circular. So I just love the way it like goes in, and it blends out the shade so nicely, considering that it's a little more stiff of a blending brush. But my favorite part is this. This is my new go-to lid brush. It's a little wider than I'm typically used to. I like more of like a flat, smaller lid brush, so I have a little more control of my color. But I am more of a shimmer lid kind of girl. I love shimmer colors on the lids. I love loose pigments. That is just my thing. I prefer a shimmer over a matte on the lid. So I have a ton of pigments, and this mixed with a pigment, perfect. This just applies pigment beautifully, kind of tapers up at the top, and the way it like blends the shimmer into the lid is just so seamless. It's not really like that harsh lid color and then I have to go in and blend. It just does all the work for you, and it just, oh, it looks so good. I love this brush. And then the last brush I want to mention is the Morphe M514. I feel kind of bad talking about Morphe brushes because I've mentioned so many times before that Morphe is a hit or miss for me. I just don't have the best of luck with their eye brushes. Their face brushes are great. I've tried a handful of them. I use a lot of them in my kit on my clients. I use a lot of them on myself, and I love their face brushes. I think they're so bomb, but their eye brushes just don't work for me. I was so hesitant to even buy this brush because I was like, what's the point of even buying it? It's probably not gonna work out for me. Their eye brushes, at least, just seem to fall apart on me before I even get any use out of them. And I have like drugstore cheap brushes that I've been using since I was in high school. Like all my EcoTool brushes that I talk about, I've probably had since I was a senior in high school. So I'm like, why do those last but my Morphe brushes don't? So I don't care about the money. I would rather spend the money on a more expensive brush, like a MAC brush, if it's gonna last longer than spend it on a $5 brush that's gonna fall apart after a few months. So I was very hesitant to try this brush because I've had such crappy luck with their brushes just shedding and kind of losing shape when I wash them and falling apart. And as I've mentioned before, I freelance, so I wash my brushes constantly and I have to sanitize them constantly in between clients, and I don't have time for my brushes to be falling apart. So anyways, now that I got that out of my system, I picked up this brush and I saw it when I was at Ulta. I actually think it was at the checkout line. Actually, I didn't have anything like this in my collection whatsoever. So this is what I like to do to go in if I want something just a little like more. I want just a little more drama. I just take this with a really deep color and I go right in the crease and just add a little bit more of definition in there. And this does all the blending for you. You don't have to go in with a bigger, fluffier brush like my Sigma E40 one that I always use. I don't have to go in there and blend everything together like I always do. This does all the blending for you, and it's just so like, it's so nice. The shape is perfect. I love it. And I've really been enjoying it, and I'm happy that I finally found a eye brush from Morphe that I love. Ever since I bought it, I've been using it, and I love it. It's one of my new faves. So that is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I really appreciate it if you took the time to watch this video. I have a haul coming up soon. I got a pretty good response on my last haul video, and you guys seem to really like watching it and seeing haul videos. So I'm gonna continue doing that. I'm waiting for one more thing from ColourPop, and I think the majority of it is affordable. So that's always a plus. And yeah, who doesn't love affordable makeup? I've been on a drugstore kick lately. Like, the drugstore is coming out with some good shit. Okay, I'm done talking. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye. You are so beautiful to me. Let's talk about that good. I feel like a little girl trapped in an adult's body. Get it together.